Hello and good evening. This is your boy Vaughn B with the New Avenger and my man Ricky on a nice Sunday morning in Los Angeles. All right, so welcome to this lovely day in paradise.
Sunday evening, Shalvan.
Oh, Sunday? What did I say?
You said Sunday morning.
Yeah, I'm tired. Long day. So, so we're gonna talk about what happening in the wonderful world of entertainment, which is a lot and not a lot. You know, some Star Wars stuff. Mark Hamill. I don't know if he quit or if Disney was like, "Yeah, we don't need you no more." So, it was like you know how they always say it's a mutual thing when it's not really a mutual thing.
Right.
Yeah, like you and your girlfriend break up, but actually your girlfriend broke up with you, but you'll say that it's mutual.
It's not you, it's me.
All right, so we are gonna. The first thing we're gonna talk about is there's some progress on the getting. Boy, I can't talk. The further retirement of Kathleen Kennedy, which is not actually happening, but it's gonna happen any moment now. I don't know who they're gonna replace her is going to be any better, but get your opinion on that. Dave Filoni and Carrie Beck, I don't know who that is, expected to take over from Kathleen Kennedy at Lucasfilm. Right? Amid persistent rumors that Kathleen Kennedy intends to step down as CEO of Lucasfilm, THR, the Hollywood Reporter, is claiming to have confirmed that the controversial exec is indeed set to pass the torch, but not until shortly after Disney's Bob Iger does the same. When this might not, when this might, well, when this is, I get, when, I don't know what the hell, when this might be is not clear, but insiders believe it is highly unlikely that either of them will still be in their respective positions by the time the next Star Wars movie, The Mandalorian and Grogu, hits theaters next May. So about a year from now. So she's going to retire any minute. In preparation, the studio is reportedly eyeing two potential candidates to take over from Kennedy since once she does decide to step aside. So Dave Filoni, I don't know who, like, I know who Dave Filoni is, but I don't know who the other person is. So it doesn't even say. Dave Filoni is still highly regarded in the Star Wars community. I don't think so. I guess there are some people who still haven't realized that he is part of the problem. Seriously, it's like, how do you, after you watch Ahsoka and notice how all of his characters are somehow put up to the front of everything, even though they aren't in actual lore of Star Wars?
But remember, you said remember you're talking about he's a company man?
Yeah. If I am not making any money, I don't need any company men. All right. It's like you need someone who's gonna make me money, man. That's basically what you need. So screw this company stuff, because the company has gotten you in this predicament as it is, where you can't sell toys, and that is one of the main reasons why you bought Star Wars in the first place, because you can sell a lot of crap.
It's expected to be this year, like this change.
No, from the article said that next May, because
next May.
Yeah, because according to the Hollywood Reporter, she's not leaving until Bob leaves, and there is talk about the next CEO of Disney. So there is that. So, like I said, in like May, so that's a year from now.
I mean, who will you recommend to take over Star Wars?
Nobody who works there at this present moment.
No, I'm just saying. Do you have a name or somebody you recommend?
No, not really. I don't even know who would take over. Why would you even want that job?
but no one that currently works at the company.
No.
That's not a bad answer.
Right. I don't even know. Like, they're probably picking Dave Filoni and whoever the other person is because they're there.
Already been there, yeah.
How about Favreau?
don't think he wants to do it.
Unless the new CEO gives them freelance, do what you gotta do.
Yeah, I guess. But you know what my position on this is? Everybody get fired, start over from scratch. Like by the time you get your house in order, it'll be about 4 years or something would have passed. Then you could like cast Han, Luke, and Leia, and actually dig into the extended books because you don't have to you don't necessarily have to write any treatments or whatever because you got that in the books. You got character designs. They describe all the characters. They got this. Pick which ones that are super popular. You could even do polls. It's like we're gonna start digging into the extended universe. Did you want us to start from the beginning of the extended universe, which is basically takes place 5 seconds after Return of the Jedi? Or do you want us to go a little bit further into it? Try to do what you can to get the Star Wars fans interested.
That's gonna be tough. Don't you think, like, after all these misses that the series has taken, you think people will like want to go back?
Yeah, because if you look at everything like in terms of popularity, right? Like, all the little IPs or whatnot. As soon as something is interesting comes out, the fan base gets into it. Apparently apparently there's like in the comics, they're doing this whole G.I. Joe and Transformers thing that a lot of people seem to like. They want the stuff. You're just not giving it to them.
That's fair.
That's basically
Well,
what I
the
said.
last movie, remember the last movie of Transformers? At the
Mhm.
in the credit scene, it was gonna be G.I. Joes and Transformers.
Yeah. I think that would actually work, but you had to clean house. You got to get rid of all of these people who either do nothing but girl boss. Everything is about the message. Clean house. Everybody fire. Everyone who works here. You're fired. Period. We're firing everybody. We will hire people back on a case by case basis. All right. We have a new vision. If you can't accept the new vision, then you can stay fired. If you think that you come back, you're gonna come back and change my mind about stuff, stay fired. We're going back to this. We need to make money. You need to figure out how to get the fan base back. So if you do that and you start the hiring process and you get people back and you do all that stuff, that's gonna take you a while. So that hopefully will push those movies further and further and further back. Then maybe do a few releases of the original stuff, you know, do a little teases and do it that way. And I would do the same thing with friggin' Marvel. You know, is clean house, no more girl boss movies, none of this stuff. We're gonna start over from scratch. We're gonna rehire. Like you can tell if you wait a while, you can tell like their origins of the Avengers again. Make it more based on how the comics is. Forget the Nick Fury stuff and all that crap. Start from there. Start from scratch. Completely new. We doing it all over again. Do a Mia Copa come out and just like, yeah, we kind of screwed up the last few years. So if you have faith in us, we're gonna try to get our house in order. A little dips and dabs.
Do you have faith in Dave Filoni that he will do
No.
that? Do that?
Dude, he couldn't figure
Yeah.
out that if you have a Star Destroyer flying lowly on the ground and shooting their turbo blasters at 2 people or 3 people riding on friggin' wolves, they would die. So he couldn't figure that shit out. I have no
Yeah.
clue. What about you, Ricky? Well, if Bob Iger pulled up to your house and gave you the reins to Lucasfilm, what would you do?
I mean, fire everybody who's in charge, basically.
Hire competent people.
I mean, I'll hire maybe people that were doing comic like canon,
Mm-hmm.
like maybe put like a panel with all these guys
Mm-hmm.
and get go from there.
Okay. I don't think they're gonna do that.
No, I know.
It's like the foundation is screwed up, and they're still trying to build a house on top of that, hoping that it stays up.
Yeah, they just have to stop producing more bad stuff and just leave it for 2-3 years and then come back.
Yeah, but yeah, I don't think they're gonna do that. I have like no faith whatsoever, which is sad. But all right, I watched Captain America 4, right? And I think I told Elton about it a little bit.
Yeah.
There's a skeleton of a good story in there. You can probably tell it. Is it like a Falcon story that I don't, but that's part that that's where I'm at in terms of like Marvel right now. Is I can see the elements of what could be. It's just that the people that they have in charge are too incompetent to actually do that. And it's a little frustrating. Because there's too much of the person clearly does not know how to get the story going in the direction that they want. So that's when you get the magical people to show up where they need to be thing. You know, like the bad guy just kind of knows stuff that there's no way that he would know that. You know, there's like a scene in the movie where the leader shows up at was it one of the guys that Sam Wilson has looking into some information. So the moment that the dude gets the information, the leader is standing in front of him, telling him that there's a probability of you blah 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 blah, and then does something to kill him. And I'm looking at this like, I don't care how many supercomputers you got together. It's like, how would you even know that to be at this location at this precise time to do what you did? Because anything could have happened. The guy who he was talking to could have sent the information to Sam as well as this guy. It's just a lot of stuff that could happen. So there's basically no way this dude should know this stuff that he knows.
It's like a bad villain and bad story, but like good action movie.
Even the action is kind of like,
Oh.
No, it's all right. Remember I was telling you how when he has that conversation with Bucky, and he's basically telling Bucky that he should have took the superhero serum, like the super soldier serum.
Uh-huh.
I'm like, yeah, you should have, yeah.
Okay.
No, it's basically how like Bucky is trying to like, no, you did that, and they gave it to you for a reason. I'm like, bro, the dude almost gets beat up at the beginning, and he's always almost getting beat up. He's too slow. And don't get me started on the fact that there's an action scene at the end where they're trying to protect some ships, and he's flying with his wings, and he holds the shield in front of him to protect them from the bullets from a plane. So the person who wrote that has no idea how aerodynamics work. He is putting a shield, a round thing, flat surface in front of his face as he's flying forward. Like that causes all kind of problems with I don't know, maybe his jet that's on his back is so strong that it can propel him forward, even though he's putting up a flat surface that's gonna increase his drag a lot to the point where he'll be super slow. And he does it a lot in this scene because he has to protect himself because he's flying around and he's going up against fighter jets. So it's him and the other dude who's the Falcon are both wearing the wings, and they're taking on like F-16s and like modern jets. So the person who wrote it has no idea how any of this works. So they just thought it was a cool scene. Like, bro, one, they don't know how big the bullets on a Like the bullets on a jet is versus the bullets that are in a gun. Two different sizes.
I'm surprised you watched this movie.
No, dude, I was curious. So, and I'm like, well, this is the state that the writers at Marvel are at. They don't understand. Just like how in with Ahsoka, how they had fires in space, and she's doing backflips on the ship as it's floating through space. Like, bro, this is not like, even though she's not stopped because the gravity. There's so much stuff that's happening right now in space. She jumps off, the ship won't be where where she's at, so she'd have to like jump off and then using telekinesis push herself backwards to land back on the ship.
Or you
Wow.
could just forego all of that.
Hey, but that's Dave Filoni right there. So it's like, but this is it. So it's Star Wars, it's Star Trek, is like Star Trek with the sonar in space. Like sonar works through atmosphere. There's no atmosphere, so there's no sound. So sonar doesn't work in space.
We'll just break the laws of physics. That's all.
So that's why I have zero faith in any of this shit unless they fire everybody. Like, find the writers who wrote all the stuff for the extended universe, right? Most of them are still alive. Bring them in, have them bring, if they still have any notes, have a conversation with George, see what George thinks. Because George is not happy about none of this shit as it is.
Well, they don't really talk to him, right? They don't really they don't ask for his advice or anything.
No, because they know better. Like, they need money because apparently that whatever's happening over at Universal in Florida is gonna kick their ass when it comes to the parks. They're gonna lose money for the parks. They got all the weirdos over in Disneyland at this point, with all the Disney adults, the childless people who love Disney a lot. They're all a little weird. They got all that shit happening, and then you're not making money on any of your things. Then you got the Fantastic Four about to come out, and there is more and more information being dropped about how this is going to be a girl boss movie. In a time period where nobody wants to watch girl boss movies, i.e., the ballerina that just hit theaters this weekend that nobody went to go see. Yet another 5'2" woman kicking the crap out of people. Nobody wants to watch that. Women don't want to watch that. Women like Jason Momoa taking his shirt off and running around the entirety of the movie. All right, there's a brief thing on but apparently Mark Hamill is done with Star Wars, so let's see what he has to say. Luke Skywalker actor Mark Hamill says his Star Wars days are over. Rey's journey in Star Wars galaxy is set to continue with the upcoming movie New Jedi Order, but the fans shouldn't expect to see her mentor Luke Skywalker make an appearance. In an interview with Comic Book to promote his new movie The Life of Chuck, which opens in theaters June 6th and nationwide June 13th, Hamill was asked if he will return as Luke Force Ghost in New Jedi Order. Though the actor is forever grateful he played such a meaningful role in the Star Wars franchise, he believed it is time for Lucasfilm to move past the legacy characters and focus entirely on the younger generation. I'm grateful to George for letting me be a part of that back in the day. The humble days when George called Star Wars the most expensive, low-budget movie ever made. We never expected to become a permanent franchise and a part of pop culture like that. But my deal is I had my time. I appreciate that, but I really think they should focus on the future and all the new characters. Okay, set to be directed by hardcore feminist Charmine. I'm not even trying to say that. New Jedi Order picks up roughly 15 years after the rise of Skywalker. Following Rey as he ushers in a new era of the Jedi. While the film has encountered numerous hurdles since it was first announced, it remains in active development. During the panel of Star Wars Celebration Japan in April, New Jedi Order was one of the many Star Wars movies mentioned when Lucasfilm outlined its plans for the future. The New Jedi Order is a book in the extended universe that is about Luke Skywalker. So people who are fans of that book aren't going to see this. Rey doesn't have a fan base. So him saying that they should focus like what? Like what do they have? They have Rey. You think what's the dude who played Poe? Oscar Isaac. You think he wants to come back to this shit? Seriously, did you see how they looked at the end of like when they did that last little interview when we're all sitting there and it was asking questions? None of them looked like they wanted to be there. They knew that movie was shit. They did. So it's like, I don't want to, like, nah, I'm good. So I don't think he wants to come back. Like, even though the black dude probably needs to work, I'm not sure they want him back or he wants to come back.
He needs work.
He does, dude. I guess he learned how Star Wars works. Like, yeah, if you get an outside stuff working, then you can have a career. If you don't, then you won't. Then you'll be whatever character that was. You'll be Mark Hamill. You'll be super famous. People know who you are, but it'll be for that one thing that you did when you was 20 years old. And so you'll turn into a very old, bitter man. But that's how Star Wars works.
I thought Poe had potential to be a good character, but they didn't write him very well, and he had like awful lines or dialogue.
Dude, they completely took his nuts away in the second movie. They did the same thing with
I forgot what he did in most of the movies, to be honest.
No, well, he was supposed to be a one and done character in the first movie. So he was supposed to have died.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when he just disappeared, yeah, he's supposed to have died. That's why he seemed to have magically reappeared like later on. So I don't like, okay, how did he get out of the freaking? He was trapped inside the freaking TIE fighter when it was sunk into the sand. Like, how the hell he get out of there and walk across the desert and wind up back with the rebels? I don't know. They just don't say. It just happened. It magically happened. That's basically what they went with. So they all had potential to be good characters. If they wouldn't have turned Finn into a stalker dude chasing after Rey all the damn time, just yelling after her, then he could have been cool.
You mean the black guy, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. And
I almost forgot about that movie. I can't trying to remember.
That just shows you how. So when Mark Hamill says they should focus on the new characters,
on these characters, oh man,
like who? You don't even remember what his damn name was.
these are the band of misfits.
Right. The movie made $2.5 billion, and you can't even remember what the dude's name is. So
it's tough.
Again, it's the same thing that when I watch the new Marvel stuff. It's like I can see where they could go, but they just don't know how to get there, and it sucks.
Right, yeah.
Then you go back and you look at anything old, like the older stuff, forget it. It's like, bro, they had good writing. They didn't have all the goofy jokes for no reason. They knew how to let stuff be serious and stay serious. There's a huge, like, one thing I keep hearing a lot of is like, well, they focus on the main characters and all that stuff in the movies. I'm like, yeah, in the movies, but if you go look at the comics from back in the day, various video games and all the books and all that stuff, there are plenty of characters they could use. Like, there's like a lot. It's like in the Jedi games. There's like a whole completely different Luke shows up a little bit, but the games are about somebody else. So you could do a whole Jedi thing with somebody else, his adventures. So you could do that. It's like a bunch of stuff that you can do. Again, I don't think Dave Filoni can do that because he's so focused on his own damn characters. And Mark Hamill has basically destroyed any love most people have for him by going out and just throwing up his stupid opinions on everything. And so it's like, I just remember how when I was younger, you didn't know anything about nobody, like nothing. You didn't know what they did, whether or not they. And these folks was like leches and sleeping with each other, doing all kind of crazy stuff, but we didn't know because the movie companies controlled all of that stuff. It's like when they got busted, like doing stuff that they shouldn't have been doing, you never heard of it. So, don't know. All right, Ricky, your dog is talking louder than more than you are.
Unless I mute myself. Unless I have to mute myself.
No, that's the thing about like the thing with the pop culture stuff is it's supposed to be a way to get away from all the stuff that's just happening, that just beat you over the head all day, every day. And because we let a bunch of yahoos get in, or what someone call them, theater kids, get in and just basically destroy everything because they have their opinion, but they don't know how to just not try to force their opinion on everybody. So we don't actually have escape. It's like video games and all that stuff. There are signs of a shift, just like if you go look into like different news, whatever, you can see that there's a shift. It's financial. It's not like a cultural, but maybe the financial stuff will force the cultural stuff. But they'll stop listening to the yahoos who are giving them bad advice. So, opinions? No opinions? Are you guys asleep?
I'm here.
I don't think it's really gonna change. I mean, it might just change a little bit, but I think it'll still go back. It'll go back.
Yeah. No. I don't know. But I think they're gonna have to do with the, like I was saying, wholesale, just fire everybody. Start off from scratch. There's certain things that you can't fix. And I think they're trying to fix them. Like to go to sports a little bit. It's like your team is badly constructed. And instead of just like, all right, we're gonna just start off from scratch and lose for a couple of years while we slowly build back up, you keep trying to fix it in the middle, and you just essentially make the problem worse.
And then just rather you should just build it from like the ground up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I think that's where we're at when it comes to most of this pop culture stuff.
I think for Star Wars, yeah, like I don't know if it needs like a new, like I don't know if rebranding is the word, but kind of like what you said earlier, they need someone to make it exciting again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, like The Mandalorian, the first season was really good when it came out. I was excited.
Mm-hmm.
And I looked forward to like watching each episode when it came out and stuff. So not so much for the other series, but
the first
something
season,
like that. Something like that.
The first season of that reminds me of the third season of Picard, and it was basically the same thing. The main people who was in charge of Star Trek and Star Wars essentially wrote those shows off. They didn't pay no attention to them. They let them do whatever they want. In both cases, made something that the fans like. So as soon as it became popular, you got both of these groups, both people running Star Trek, people running Star Wars, who are in desperate need of a win, decided to throw their 2 cents in and screwed both of them up.
Yeah.
Because they don't know. They don't seem to see that the problem with their prospective companies and whatnot is them. It is not the actual IP.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's a good way of putting it.
It's like there's a like, cause Star Trek has like this is the same thing. They have a bunch of books where they flush out like a lot of stuff. Like the creation of the Borg is actually a pretty interesting book because it's like a series of books, and you find out through what the person who wrote this, like why the Borg act like they do and all this other stuff. And it's time travel. It's a lot of stuff happening. And it takes place in the future of Star Trek. Riker has his own ship now. He's married to Troy. They're about to have a kid. It's like a whole thing. So they both have a treasure trove of stuff that they can dig into. They just refuse to do so. They don't know why, but you see this over and over and over again. It's like I told you guys about the dude who's in charge, one of the guys in charge of over at Marvel, even though he knows for a fact that the customer base wants Peter Parker and Mary Jane to be back together again, they refuse to do so because reasons.
Right.
Yeah, and I think it's more to do with ego. Is the fact that you do something and you just cannot accept the fact that people don't want to, like, they don't want what you're pushing, which is, I guess, can be hard. You spend a lot of time doing something and it gets completely rejected by the people who you're trying to sell to. Kind of hard on the ego.
Yeah, so I guess they double down and then they yeah.
Yeah, dude. I don't know. I don't know what to do about any of this stuff. I don't want any of it to go away because this is the only escapism that we kind of have, like that. And you got sports. There's entertainment in sports. About it. Oh, I don't know. Your thoughts, Ricky? You there?
Well, I was muted. Sorry.
Are you watching baseball or something?
No, I pressed the wrong button on my what do you call it? The roadcaster.
Oh,
What the hell? Didn't hear me when I was saying something? I was talking to myself.
All right. So what we can get into is a brief discussion of the the Netflix meme come to life in the Marvel comics, which is the Netflix meme, how they race change everybody. So they showed it's like a bunch of pictures of Netflix was it Netflix polar bears, and someone put some black bears and just put like Netflix polar bears.
So Netflix does that? I didn't know they do that.
No, it's a meme how they race change everybody. So they have polar bear, like they put polar bears at the bottom, but it's actually a picture of black bears. So it's a joke.
Oh god.
And then a selection of stuff. It was like Martin Luther King Jr. was played by some white dude. And it was like it was just basically that, how they keep shifting or whatever, right?
Yeah, imagine they put a white guy for acting like Martin Luther King Jr.
It would be funny.
Oh shit, that'd be crazy.
Oh yeah, it would be funny. So this is they got this whole series called Marvel Knights, right? Where it's supposed to be the edgier, like Marvel comics. So this guy right here is a dude named Katima, and he is T'Challa's son.
Oh, good.
In the near future. All right. So basically, what happens? Some people are trying to take over Wakanda. So there's like a whole civil war trying to break out, and so this dude challenges. It's like so T'Challa's an older man now, so this dude challenges him for the throne. Uh, this guy T'Challa wins, but he cannot kill him. So he turns his back on him, and the dude beats him up and kills him, and then he reveals himself to look like this. So everyone's a little perplexed as to why the dude who wrote this is a black dude. So everyone's a little perplexed at like where they're going with this.
That's interesting. Is this canon or?
I don't know. It's like I don't know what the hell is canon in Marvel nowadays.
Yeah, that's true.
'Cause I don't
Or-
really agree.
I don't think the writers and producers know either, or if they did, they didn't care, wouldn't care.
Yeah, so this is the meme right there. Like Ryan Gosling at the Black Panther. So like people are super confused. He hates all right, so Priest is a black man who hates being typecast as being the guy who writes black people because he's black. Immediately turns the Panther white. So like
We got a white Black Panther before GTA 6. That's the best use of that meme that I've heard in a while.
So like I don't know. I have no idea what to make of this.
That's great.
Yeah, so new Black Panther for dude white dudes love her. It's like I can see why they love her, but it's like
Then it's
I
me.
it just I don't get what's going on. So it's like one of these things where it's like okay. Since no one knows, there's all kind of speculation about like he's the villain, and I think someone saw like something about it's a thing about apartheid or something about a like to what the Afrikaners took over South Africa, but apparently from I saw somebody with I don't know how true this is, but apparently that little section of Africa, the Afrikaners kind of got there first, kind of thing. Hey, for whatever my internet connection is acting up. I don't know why. But man, so I don't know. It's like I don't get what's going on with this. It should be interesting.
Why?
Yeah, I
Is
don't know
this for
why.
real or this is fake?
No, this is an actual thing. This is a comic book. Like
Maybe they got transferred some part to some of the Dutch. You know what I mean? The farmers, the Dutch.
I have no idea. I don't know why the dude who wrote it is black. So it's like people. That's what got people even more confused. So that's why the guy was like saying that he doesn't like the fact that they keep getting him to write only black characters. So I don't know if this is like a thing where he's upset about that. So he's like, all right, if you're gonna make me write black characters, I'm just gonna put a white dude and write for him. All right, so I don't know. So this is the comic. Comics are $6 for a 20-page comic now. Is that previous before? This could be Marvel's way of creating a fascist stand-in, a white rightful heir who takes the power under the guise of bloodline and order. Parallel how some view Trump, a figure exploiting identity nationalism, pushing isolationist and dominance. Like racial political arrest in South Africa. I don't know how any of this sells comic books. Because at the end of the day, that's what you're supposed to be doing, selling comic books.
Maybe just it's just trying it out.
Yeah, I guess.
Hey, he's trying to get attention and publicity. It's working.
Yeah, just throw it out. Let's see what happens.
By confusing the hell out of everybody.
Exactly. Hey, you got people talking about it. We're talking about it.
Yes, it is. Yeah, yes, this is true.
It's not even a big book, right?
Not dude, Marvel. Ain't nobody buying Marvel. Like, not really. But
Maybe
no,
not even cost them a lot, so you just whatever the hell with that.
yeah. So everyone's given how the economy is and how everything is right now. Everybody's mind should be on trying to get more and more customers for your thing. So writing a book where you tell yet another story about fascism and all that stuff, thinking Trump in it and blah 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 blah. It's like, dude, as you quoted to me yesterday from Michael Jordan, Republicans buy tennis shoes too. So
That's a
it's
good
like,
quote. I've heard it before.
yeah, and this is
Yeah,
this
you do
is
a business, you just stay out of politics. That's it.
right. So like, why? Like, it's but it's like the girl boss thing too. It's the same thing. People, it's pretty obvious that people are over girl bosses. It is pretty obvious. And I get that all this stuff was in the pipeline and they wrote all this stuff. It's like when Ironheart comes out, they should just release all of it at the same time. Do exactly what you did for Echo. Just put it all out. So you can get this out into the public and just dump it. There you go. It's just, bro. That's another thing that pissed me off in the Captain America 4 thing. Like the chick I was telling you about who's Israeli, but they don't say that she's Israeli, so they just pretend that her character is not Israeli. She looks like she's 4'11. She looks like a 12-year-old. Beating up people. And I'm like, really? Y'all still doing this? So I don't know, dude. There's a bunch of rumors about like Doctor Doom and all that stuff. Until that something comes out where it's more like concrete. Is reading this people trying to do hot takes on something somebody said on X. Just like, this is a clusterfuck. They basically should have introduced, if you're gonna do the Fantastic Four, you introduce Doctor Doom in the Fantastic Four. But you didn't want to do that. So now you got a Doctor Doom introducing something else, but he's a Fantastic Four character that's just super popular. So he's like fighting everybody else. I'm still don't know how they're gonna go from where they're at now to this movie. And I told you about, like, I know I told Elton about the leak of the opening of the movie. Did I tell you about that, Ricky?
No.
Yeah, it is a thing where they're gonna try to like shove as much, and I don't know how you just don't do this, because it's basically from what they described, it should be its own movie. Like, you know how they introduce Thanos a little bit at a time?
Uh-huh.
It's just like a talk like this, and then you had like Ronan the Destroyer, who everybody feared, right? So everybody feared him, shaking in his boots, talking to Thanos at the end of the movie. It's a little bit of like, it's a 5-minute conversation. The dude's terrified. So that little bit, like, all right, so you got a dude who everybody else is scared of. He's scared of this other dude. Like, who the hell is this other dude? So if you're a normie, it's like, okay, who is this? And you show him a little bit here, and you show him a little bit there. Marvel used to know how to do that. There's so much stuff where they just drop like Easter eggs. It's like the first time we found out about Wakanda was a picture on a map. It was I think it was in one of the Captain America movies, where it was like the shield, it was something, and they just happened to walk past and it said Wakanda on it. Right? So most people who are normies would be like, who the hell is that? People who are fans of comic books is like, oh shit, they're gonna introduce Wakanda at some point. Same thing with like in, is it the second one? Winter Soldier. The Winter Soldier? When what's it? Not Shield. What's the other one? What's the bad ones? Brain sucks. Hydra. Like when Hydra took over, and they showed like the targeting of people, and one of the targets was Doctor Strange.
Oh yeah.
Right. But they used to do it was like little
Yeah.
background
Easter
stuff.
eggs, yeah.
Right. So it was like, so if you really understood comics, you're like, oh shit, they just showed Doctor Strange. Normally
Like
didn't
those
know.
little things and Easter eggs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that they used to do, which were small, but in the grand scheme of things or in the movie, kind of makes a big impact,
Mm-hmm.
and the moments are memorable.
Yeah. Like subtly showing off the fact that Bucky was supposed to get the shield by little bits in that, having him doing redemption arc, goes through the whole redemption arc, and then you give the shield to Sam, who has wings on, and somehow, even though he couldn't even hit a tree with it in the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, is now bouncing it off. Dude, he's fighting with this thing. He is bouncing it off of people. He does the thing where he kicks it. So he grabs it, picks it up, throws it, like hits somebody. It comes back. He kicks it with his foot, and it hits somebody else in the head.
He's a quick learner.
It's like, what the, so, bro, you like looking at like,
Where did this come from?
like, where the hell did this come from? Yo, he does it like, and he's bouncing off stuff. Like Cap had this thing for years, like years, fighting, using it while fighting Nazis. Learn how to use it. Sam has it for a few months, and he don't even have it for a few months because he gave it back to the U.S. government for a while, and they gave it to the other dude, right? Like when exactly did this happen? When you learn how to do this? It's like Ray all over again. When she's just doing stuff, it's like, dude, when did you figure this shit out? It's not like Steve is around, he's an old man. So maybe, I don't know, maybe he having a conversation with Steve about how you do this with this shield. It's like, bro, how did you manage to throw it in one? He can only throw it as hard as a human can. There's a scene in the like, Ricky, did you see the Thunderbolts?
No.
All right. What about you,
No.
Elton? All right. So in the Thunderbolts, so Walker is the dude who got the shield in after Cap. After the Falcon gave it back, they gave it to him. They gave this dude super soldier serum, right?
Is that the one that came on the series with the book, Bucky and Falcon?
Yeah, right. So they're stuck in it, so in the Thunderbolts, they're stuck in an elevator, right? This is when they find the Sentry, and they're trying to get out, and they're trapped or whatever, right? So the elevator shaft is a cylinder. It's smooth, so they can't climb it, right? This dude jumps up. He's like, all right, hold up. He jumps straight up. It takes him, it's a 9-second wait for him to fall back down and hit the ground, right? So he jumps up. He jumps as hard as he can for 9 seconds for the whole trip. So that's 4.5 seconds straight up. So someone figured out how far he jumped for that for the math, right? And it came up with 99 meters. So the dude jumped 99 meters straight up, right? And he's stronger and faster than Cap was, because where he started from, all right, so Steve Rogers started from being a skinny dude with no muscle mass or whatever, right? This dude started off being a built guy who's a decorated soldier. So he's stronger than Steve. Because the super serum soldier, formula just boost or whatever, right? He didn't do none of that shit. It's like, I don't think they showed him doing any of that stuff that Steve used to do with the shield. So the guy who can jump 99 meters straight up couldn't bounce it off of 4 dudes' heads, but somehow this regular dude was able to do it. it just it just more and more. You're like, the more I look into or remember stuff from this freaking movie and the TV shows and all this other stuff, it just it's like it's such bad writing. I have no faith that it brings me to have no faith in whatever's coming up, even though there's nothing really coming up after Ironheart. So we got to wait until whenever Doomsday comes out. So, and I'm afraid that they're gonna cast that ugly ass chick to be Storm, the one who looks like Nosferatu, because she checks a bunch of boxes. So I don't know. The only way I think any of this can be saved is that the next CEO of Disney is not a woke crazy person who actually is interested in making money. So I don't know. Yeah. All right. Well, so it's like, I know one of the things I did want to talk about was the rumors for that, but yeah, like, like you know, the Bella Ramsey from The Last of Us.
Is that a movie?
No, the TV show. You watch the damn TV show. The chick with the head, with the face too small for her head.
Maybe
What
show an
the-
image of her.
Dude,
What
how
was
you
this
not,
then?
bro? You the one watch damn. All right, there's a picture of her. All
In The
right,
Last of Us.
Where's that Rings of Power?
no,
No,
The Last
The
of
Last
Us,
of Us.
dude. You the only one who watched it.
Oh, The Last of Us.
Oh
Yeah,
my
but I'm
God.
not that into the characters.
Dude, she like the main character. All right,
I just like the zombies. That's it.
I just like the song.
she's like the main character. All right, see her. That's Bella Ramsey. All right,
I don't even. I don't even. I just watch the zombies, dude. I'm not
bro.
worried about her.
She's the main character.
I don't know her name.
You not know who the main character is. All right,
'Cause I
well,
don't care. I just watched a good movie. That's it. But this is the best show.
bro, no shit. Or anyway, she, I guess, said something about her making her Kitty Pride, so she can act terribly in that, like she's doing in The Last of Us. It's like,
What is her character name? Maybe Ricky knows the character name, not the actress name.
Ella,
Look, I
Ellie.
don't even remember.
There,
man,
Ella.
honestly.
Does that sound familiar? Or Ellie? I still know.
Ellie, I don't know. There's two girls. I don't know who's who. I
One
forget.
is Abby. All right, one is Abby, another one's Ellie.
Yeah, that's
There
what
you
I'm saying.
go.
I don't know who in the hell is who.
Well, look, there is a good thing though about the Fantastic Four movie. The kid that she has is Franklin. I was afraid that they was gonna make that kid Valerie, which is the second kid, who's a girl. I don't know, since they're introducing him into the MCU. How much do you know about Franklin Richards?
I don't even know who that guy is.
No, it's a kid. It is Mr. Fantastic and Sue Storm's child, their firstborn. His mutant powers is he can warp reality. He's basically he is cosmic level powerful. All right, like think Celestials.
Oh, okay.
Right. So there's some speculation that they're gonna use him to kick off the Secret Wars thing, because they haven't introduced the Beyonders yet. So like this, and this is what I'm saying, how it's gonna be so difficult for them to actually do these movies, because there's no build up to it. Because in order to do Secret Wars, you kind of need to introduce the Beyonders, which you have not introduced yet. And you got to introduce Molecule Man. There's like a lot of stuff that you have to actually introduce that you have not done at all. So maybe because Loki is tied into the Earl tree at the end of the second season of Loki, that means he's tied to the multiverse. Like he can control it, all of it. So maybe he's the one that's gonna allow Doom to be able to create the battle world. How you explain that to normal people, I don't know.
Good luck. They better say it like verbatim, you know?
Dude, I have no clue how they're gonna do this. It's like they should have just stuck with Kang. At least they set up Kang. You can hire another black dude to be Kang.
Yeah, that's correct.
Right. So now you coming in, you gotta explain why Dr. Doom looks like fucking Iron Man.
Oh my gosh, yeah, that's gonna be a lot.
But there is comic stuff to explain why he does, but then you got to explain who the hell Victor Von Doom is, and you got to do it outside of the Fantastic Four, which you put into another universe that's based in the 60s. They're coming to the main, because at the end of one of the post-credit scenes at the end of the Thunderbolts is the Fantastic Four ship. So I don't know if the Thunderbolts are going to be the ones that are going to go meet them. I don't know. I don't know how this shit ties into freaking Doomsday, because you have yet to introduce anything to deal with this shit.
Oh my gosh, imagine trying to portray that in movies. It's gonna be super confusing.
Right. So the thing, all right. So basically what what happens in the beginning of Doomsday is there's a fight between Shang-Chi, Sue Storm, and the X-Men, because the X-Men mansion somehow winds up in Wakanda. So you have Shuri. So Shuri, Shang-Chi, and Sue. I don't know how these three people are together fighting something in which is like they describe as the X-Men X Mansion in Wakanda. I'm like, if I'm a normal person, I'm like, what the fuck? What am I looking at? Who else is there? Shit, which Jimmy LeBeau, damn it, Gambit is there too. So Gambit is there probably because of the X Mansion. And so it's like what? Essentially, what you're going to be saying is, if this what they're saying is true, I think they're just going to throw it at you and hope for the best.
That is going to be a lot for people to absorb, and I don't think they're gonna write it very well, or it's going to be rushed.
No, dude, of course it's going to be rushed.
That's gonna be insane for people to understand.
Yeah, that is why if you're gonna do any of this stuff, one, you should have waited till later to do this. After you have introduced all the characters that are in the Secret Wars, then you could have did the first Secret Wars, because each all the character pretty much most of the characters you need for the second Secret Wars were basically introduced in the first one. You got the Beyonder. You find out how Molecule Man becomes Molecule Man, and various other bad guys and all that stuff. Then you got the X-Men and the Avengers and all that stuff in the first Secret Wars. So you explain all of that, and then eventually you get to the second one because you have introduced everybody. So you got the Fantastic Four, Dr. Doom, blah, 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 blah. And at the end of the first Secret Wars comic, Dr. Doom briefly gets the powers of the Beyonder. He takes the powers from Beyonder. So you set a precedent of him doing that. So that when he happens later, it's like, okay, he's already done this. And this is where Spider-Man gets his black suit. Like I said, it's a lot of comic shit. Like decades of comic stuff that builds up to what they're trying. I have no clue what they're trying to do.
Oh, man. I don't think they know what they're doing.
They're just hoping they put some famous actors and people love it.
And yeah, true. Or they make it the trailer is like exciting enough.
It's like, what the fuck? It's basically,
yeah, pretty much.
is the people who are running, like Kevin. You can tell Kevin Feige was not in charge of the old MCU. You can tell because the old MCU, you get your movie, you get your movie, you get your movie. We're all new. This is the superhero thing is a new concept on the planet Earth. So that's why nobody shows up in each other's movies because they have no clue who any of these people are. The only people who know is the government who is studying all this up and coming stuff. So that's why Nick Fury has the conversation. Like first is Thunderbolt Ross has the conversation with Iron Man, and introduces him to Nick Fury, and then Nick Fury is around when they find Cap. But like I said, in each thing they set all this stuff up, which takes place over multiple movies. They're gonna do this in the first 10 minutes of the next one that comes out. It's gonna be interesting to see what they do. I ain't gonna lie.
It sounds like a big mess.
Well, it is because you're trying to like, dude. We're talking like multiple comics, decades of stuff that you got to explain to people. Most of which don't read comic books. And well, the good thing is most normies are checked out on Marvel anyway, so they're not going to watch it. This goes back to what we were saying before about Star Wars. It's like there's so much stuff you got to do to fix any of this. I don't know. There is actually this. There is an actual thing that's pretty interesting. If I can find it. Again. People spent $59 billion in the U.S. beating movies and television shows for video games.
Wow, that's. I remember you talked about it. That's still like an astounding number to me.
83% of U.S. households use a gaming device. I remember being a gamer was looked at as geekiness and all this other stuff. Now they got dudes who stream these games who are covered in tattoos. They have gold teeth and all kind of shit. These are kind of dudes that used to beat up the dudes who played video games. Now they're making a living on this. Like spending for hardware was 4.9 billion. Accessories came down to 3.2 billion. Like, so I guess movies and television shows was 57. So there's a population of about 340 million people. 205 million Americans play video games on a regular basis, which is crazy.
I mean, gaming's always been popular. Just that the gaming so far they messed it up. All the brand new games they brought out.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I just watched the Microsoft's like I watched Microsoft Showcase. It was
Oh. What happened to Shelvan?
What happened to Von B?
Take over, Ricky.
I just can't, I don't know.
I thought you got hijacked.
I hit the button on my freaking mouse, and apparently that button is tied to exiting the stream.
Yeah, L10 was gonna take over, man.
I was ready.
No. What I was saying is like I watched Microsoft's press conference today. In terms of they got a lot of games coming out, and basically this whole thing was you really should get Game Pass. That's basically what this was, and I would agree. There's a lot of games coming out on Game Pass, and they're doing a thing where it's play everywhere. So most of the games that they showed are also coming out on PlayStation 5. So Microsoft is selling hardware. They're actually making a handheld, which is actually looks pretty cool. But one of the places you'll be able to play, and I think I told you guys about this, is like your television. So you can already go stream on the Amazon Fire Stick, and I think the Samsung televisions it has an app for it. So it's like I can see like with these numbers that they were talking about, yeah, I can see what Microsoft is doing there because they are interested in selling the games to people wherever they are at in terms of dedicated hardware or whatever. Like you guys aren't into games, right?
I mean, only in certain games.
Not like before. I'm gonna say that.
Well, the games that are failing right now are mostly AAA, like the big companies. Like GTA 6 is coming out fairly soon, like maybe within the next year or so. And I think Take-Two said Rockstar spent like $1 billion making it.
Damn. That's that's a lot.
Bro, they make $1 billion every year off of GTA 5. Seriously. GTA off and I was looking at somebody today who was talking about how some of those things that they didn't touch on is accessories in games, like in terms of how your character looks. Like they make a small fortune on that. Like Fortnite is a free game where you can buy V-Bucks, which allows you to buy costumes for your character. So your character can be unique. And then they put out like they're constantly putting out character models. So from everyone from Snoop Dogg to Travis, like so you got singers, you got video game, you got other video game characters, you have sports players because I think Shaq is in there, and so you can. It's like I don't remember how much it is. I think like $10. Some of them are even more. It's like so they got some of these games where to change your gun up could cost like $50.
What a used to waste of money, man.
Yeah, but it's not to the person who plays this game on a regular basis.
I would just buy Bitcoin.
Right, but the thing is like, dude, that shows you how popular this stuff is.
Yeah, I know.
And the television and TV, like television and movies, is not helping themselves when it comes to this kind of shit. Like, but you also got this. It's the same problem because you got these large companies who are basically telling their customer base to fuck off at every regular basis. Seriously, that's what they're doing, and it's like another thing, like with Nintendo, that people are upset about right now. And I'll show you what I'm talking about. So, right now, if you get a lot of the larger companies, if you go play their games, you don't have a male or female option. What you have is it's like it's not an option. It's the character model 1 and character model 2, right? And if you say that, yeah, is no gender. I mean, it's gender, but so what they have is style. So select a style for your me. It's like your style you select for your me might be reflected as a specific gender in some software. So they remove the gender from when you create a me in the game. All right. So it should say male and female. It's still male and female. It is this weird nonsense that they're constantly doing to appeal to 0.00 whatever percent of the population. And then they sit back and they can't, well, why our stuff is not selling? I'm like, so all right, so is it in a medieval fantasy RPG experience, but you prefer to choose between would follow Vote over 49,000 votes. 80% said you prefer male and female choice. As a player for studio, we will update Lords of the Fallen in future titles series accordingly. Stay tuned. Why is this even a question? A lot of you can look at a lot of these games that comes out and you're looking at it, it's like, who are you selling this to? Like, seriously, it's like, because contrary to popular belief, most women don't play these types of games. You have a few that do, but for the most part, it's like when you go to cons and it's mostly men there. It's like they keep trying to. I don't know who the fuck you appealing to, because by making your characters unattractive or whatever you're doing doesn't appeal to men, and it doesn't appeal to the women who are interested in video games. Just like this, like it's the whole transgender stuff. Or if you're trying to be of another gender, what difference does it make if it says like whatever one that you think you are, just pick that one, right? I've had conversations with people who said that the people like the non-crazy ones, that's how they feel too. I don't know who are you trying to appeal to, because clearly, given how things are selling and all this other stuff, it is not to the people who want to buy games. Why Nintendo did this, I have no idea.
That's a big, still perplexing to me.
Yeah, they keep do like, why are you? But this is also just like freaking Disney, dude. It's like you literally have to fire everybody. It's just, anybody, anyone who comes in and says, "All right, your female protagonists have to be unattractive," because it's like there's a game that they showed in during the showcase. Is this chick who's running around? She's like an astronaut, whatever. She's not appealing. She's not. I don't want to spend the whole game looking at her. To be perfectly honest, I don't, because she's not appealing to look at, and you gotta, because she's the main character, you gotta see her face a lot. Like, you're not changing people's standards of beauty by just taking away every option, hoping that somehow it's going to change what people like. That it didn't. They figured that out in the fat acceptance stuff. Hopefully, they figure this out, because all the games that are really popular right now, the characters are attractive. Like every last one of them.
Oh, people, I don't know if people realize that though, huh? Maybe it's like a subconscious thing.
No, it's the agenda stuff. It's the same thing that's wrong with Star Trek and Star Wars and all these other things. This is, you hire people who are trying to push some whatever. It's like, all right, I think I told y'all about this, where they for Microsoft, they had the Halo studio and they showed off the new people who are doing Halo. All right. As soon as they showed the person who's in charge of everything, I'm like, I'm not even remotely interested in whatever this person is going to make. It is a non-binary person with a shaved head and like multicolored hair. It's like, bro, stop hiring these people, please. This person does not care about you making money in any capacity. Like, nothing. She don't care. She just wants to put whatever thing is going through her head into your property. And then when it doesn't sell, she's like, well, everybody's bigots. That's why they didn't buy it. That's why when people downgrade TV shows and movies now, instead of saying that people just didn't like it, they're saying that they're what's the term for it? They're it's like people are pretending to down the thing now. I forgot what the term is. Um. Review bombing.
Oh.
If you notice, they say that a lot now. So anything that's bad, people just review bombing.
Mm-hmm.
No, they just don't like it. Most people who don't like your stuff don't even say anything. They just don't buy it. So they're not review bombing. They're just letting you know that we don't like this. So I don't know. Hopefully we can survive. All our favorite IPs can survive whatever this nonsense is. It is coming to a close. It's gonna take a little bit longer, but it is. Ever since a couple of years ago, where Pride Month was just insane. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Like,
It's
yeah,
really taking a backseat.
right.
Big time.
Because at that point, even gay people were like, "Bro, like, what the hell, dude?" Like, because again, you got people like I'm quite sure like the ones who aren't into all that stuff, like being vocal about this, are probably like, "Bro, you got people looking at me all sideways. I ain't got nothing to do with this shit. I'm not on some float going down the middle of the street like on a parade route with a freaking speedo on, shaking my junk at children." It's like I just want to live my life. So I think even they started protesting, and that's probably part of the reason why all this stuff is kind of like, okay, we went a little crazy.
Yeah, there's a couple of YouTube videos I saw
Mhm.
where like people who are in there, they're
Mhm.
like, oh yeah, we went to like far these past few years, so they're not like participating. A lot of companies and corporate sponsors, they're totally out of it.
Is it too much? Most people don't care. Once the religious right stop caring, you won. Congratulations. You have achieved being tolerated just like all the rest of us. All the rest, like the one of the lady people who was in charge of Marvel who got fired, she was at some kind of it was some function for the alphabet community, and she was on stage saying, "I am not going to be tolerated." I'm like, why? Everybody else is. Seriously, everybody else is freaking tolerated. That's how life works. You are tolerated. Most people will put up with you as long as you're useful. So whatever your weird character flaws or whatever is, like, they just look the other way. As long as you're useful. That is why I see occasion after occasion after occasion people get dropped. Like R. Kelly was doing all this weird stuff for the last 20 years. Everybody kind of knew that he was into underage women, and a bunch of other freaky stuff. As soon as he stopped selling records, they was like shocked. Like, oh my God, it's like he's doing all. I'm like, dude, we all knew that you knew. Like Biden couldn't find his way off a stage, and like, oh, everything's fine. Right up to the whole thing lost, and then it got okay to say that he from like one particular side is like, oh yeah, we didn't know. Like, how you did not know?
Everything was fine until it wasn't.
Pretty much, dude. It's like, but it's like, dude, it's like everything is like that. Like people are afraid to give their opinions on stuff. I'm like, bro, like life's too short for that. If someone makes you something that you don't like, you can say it nicely. If you don't like it, you ain't got to shit on somebody. But like, I don't like that. No thanks. There's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with you saying I just don't like that. So I don't know. Oh, I don't think you was I don't think you was listening when I was talking about this before everything started. And this is we ain't even gonna talk about this. I just want to show it to you. There, Ricky. This is a little AI thing, just a little bit. The some internet like coalition of workers unions declares an emergency over AI use. And it goes and it gives a list of all the people, and they seem to want the government to step in.
They're coming for your job.
Right. So, as such, there is a need for protection frameworks around ethical and fair use of AI. And it's like we refer to research brief and International Labor Organization proposes a concept of 3 C's: compensation, control, the use of work and creator, blah, 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 informed consent. Consent, reasonable balance on the one hand, technological innovation, and the other hand, a sustainable and strong cultural and creative sector requires training AI with copyrighted protected works should only be possible with informed consent and of the authors of those works. Compensation, performers and creators should be fairly compensated for the use of their work, including but not limited to illustrations, animations, writing, voice work, likeness, or image, and an AI generated content, and controls creators such as writers, musicians, filmmakers, blah, 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 need to be able to govern how their works, identities, and creative inputs are used, adapted, and reproduced by AI systems. This control ensures that the creators' intellectual property, labor, representations are respected and they receive fair recognition and compensation. Like we call upon regulators, lawmakers, and governments to fight for culture and art and value that the workers and thing. So, what do you think about that, Ricky?
I mean, I already have my opinion with AI, so
I personally think that the horse is out of the barn, down the block, doing laps around the stadium at this point. And they seem to think that the government is going to come in to help fix this problem.
Yeah, right.
The biggest issue.
What they're just gonna do? Everybody have no jobs and they expect us to buy stuff. So,
all right. Oh, this will basically kill creativity. When we already there, given that we've been talking about for the last hour and 20 minutes, we're already there. This will put a bullet in the head. Well, I can't say that on the YouTubes, but this will
a nail in the coffin.
a nail in the coffin of creativity as far as it goes, and as far as major things go.
I think mostly the AI is gonna affect more in the entertainment.
Oh, dude, it's gonna.
That's where it's gonna affect the most right now.
There's a guy I saw who makes lo-fi music. That's basically what he's been like living his life on last decade or so. He used one of the AI generated like music because there's like 3 of them, I think. And he used one of the songs. He couldn't tell that it would like it sounds like something you would hear on a playlist, meaning that there's probably a bunch of these type of songs on playlists on Spotify. The problem with these folks and what they're looking for is your average person. It's like whenever you have any of these discussions, they never talk about the normies, the people who just want to be entertained and something to keep their mind off their job. They don't care how this thing is made. So you can talk culture and this, that, and the other, and I can agree with you. But in terms of this stuff, I'm not a normie. I kind of know how this stuff works. The person who's not that and just wants to be entertained, just wants to put Spotify on and have some lo-fi music playing in the background while they're doing dishes or homework or whatever, does not care, does not know, doesn't put any thought to how this is made. That is the world that we're in. So once they figure out, like right now, when you do anything, it only gives you 5 to 10 seconds of actual footage. Right?
Yeah, basically AI will be just another spying for the government. So
yeah. But what I'm getting at is at some point that 5 to 10 seconds is going to turn into 30 seconds, into a minute. Then it's going to go from a minute to 10. It's not gonna go like little. It's gonna go from a minute to 10 minutes to an hour. That's how this is gonna work. So pretty soon you'll be able to make an entire movie by you typing a prompt in. And I think I've had this conversation with Elton once about how you'll be able to watch a Star Wars movie with Clint Eastwood and as Han Solo, and like Chewbacca will be played by Curly from the Three Stooges or whatever pops into your head.
Just
At
put
least
in all the IPs.
It'll be better than the Star Wars that we're watching.
Hey,
Probably.
maybe it will be.
Yeah, and I remember having a conversation with my roommate about this kind of stuff. Whereas, like, and in my point of view is that the people who are gonna push this through are not gonna care how this was made. This is gonna be a new shiny thing, like cell phone. How much damage cell phones have done to the youth at this point is immeasurable. But nobody's giving up their cell phones. Nobody's giving up their iPads. Nobody's giving up their. This is just how it is, and you got to figure out how to deal with the world as it is. And that's essentially with AI. So all these unions and all this other stuff who are fussing and screaming and think that they're going to be able to hold their breath and force the world to stop. No, it's not. Now, what could stop it is the sheer incompetence of the people who are doing this stuff. Like how they're trying to push EVs, but neglected to build the infrastructure for EVs to work. Although they are like Ricky was telling me that they're putting in more and more spots. But the thing is like the Tesla ones work for the most part in warmer climates. Like once you get to cold climates, doesn't work so well. Once you get to hot climates, doesn't work so well. So like California would be great. But if you live in Arizona, you live in Chicago, yeah, good luck. Half the year you can't really use that stuff. No, dude, a bunch of like that cold snap last winter that hit Illinois. Yeah, that a bunch of people whose Teslas just don't charge because the battery is draining quicker because it's using all of its power to keep itself from freezing. And it's the exact opposite when it's hot. It is using all of its power to keep itself from overheating.
To keep cool, yeah.
Yep. So all your range is going into the toilet, and you can't figure out like that's why. So I don't know. And as far as the government and spying, we're already being spied on. So I think someone brought up a point that by the time it gets to showing you like a commercial, the government has had access to whatever that is for 5-6 years at that point. Right? So who knows what the hell they like? I guess another 10 years they'll break out the flying saucers.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Man. Hopefully next week they have more interesting things to talk about as opposed to just rumors and bitching about stuff.
It's fun too.
This is true. All right. Well, any final notes or final thoughts between the two of you?
A lot of
Well,
things
I'm
going
interested
on
regarding the
in LA.
AI. So
All right. You first, Ricky.
yeah, I'm interested how the AI will do it. Just create your own Star Wars.
Yeah. Well, yeah, should be interesting. Now, that doesn't mean you're going to create anything new. Well, people will create new stuff. The ones who like the artists who survived this, because most of the people that these people are trying to protect are not the people who will be able to survive very well in this new environment. The ones who will be able to survive are the ones who will be able to use the AI to make their to make it easier for them to make their ideas come to life. What's going to happen, just like with everything, all the ones who skate by, or the ones who just kind of at the bottom, and it is they're hanging on to whatever it is that they're trying to do. while they're bare. Those are people who are gonna have problems. The same thing with accountants and lawyers and all that stuff. And at some point, it's going to be doctors. Because they already got I saw a clinic or something where you just go in and this thing scans you. And then they got like a few doctors in there, I guess. They just look at the information that it gives them. That's what your checkup is going to be. Just spit in this thing and give you a shot. And then they'll check everything on your body and you'll come back later. All right, so you're about to die or whatever. You'll get an email on your phone. Like, sorry to break it to you, bro. You'll get a text message. So the future should be interesting. I'm already kind of old, so I don't know how much it's going to change in the next 20, 30 years. And after that, I'm probably not going to care that much. Be 80 some years old, so I feel for the youths, but nothing we can do about that. So what and your final thought there, Mr. Elton?
Oh, I'm saying a lot of stuff's going on over here in LA. We had some fun topics to talk about to divert attention from that.
Oh yeah, that's the whole point of the entertainment. So, all right. Well, on that note, on behalf of myself and my friends here, please like, share, and subscribe, and all that fun stuff. And we are out. Later.
Yeah.